Look, I hate to say it to start off our joyous weekly celebration of high school football together, but the reality is we are now on the back end of the season. However, let not this revelation take away from your excitement and enjoyment of the highlights and games. No, instead, let it enhance the appreciation because time is finite for each and every generation of the boys of fall. So cheer a little bit louder, live in the moment a little bit longer, and savor it a little bit more because you know the end is closer. We, however, are just getting started. Time to hit the gas and go. Lincoln at Elkins. And before the smoke from the Elks intro pyro has even cleared, we've got a highlight. Opening kickoff, and you should know by now we show you special teams because it's a mistake or great. Austin Bourne ready to hoover that one in, and Bourne gives life to this opening Elks drive, and Connor Hams touchdown. 7-0 Purple. Next Lincoln drive ends in a punt, but if you were paying attention earlier, you know the rule about special teams. Low snap, loose ball in the end zone, and Hunter Smith both working hard and hardly working for that TD, but the Elks onslaught only just beginning. Next Purple possession coming with the PSA. Just know if you ever ask Ben Napier for change, he only gives out dimes. Isaiah Haywood, the money man on that play, as Elkins, fear the bugle, rolls to a, am I reading that right, 83-6 win. All right, let's check in with the 6A champs, the Greenwood Bulldogs hosting Siloam Springs, and who better to start with than Kane Archer. He lets one fly to Benton Hosley, who wishes he was just a little bit taller to stretch that ball in. But Kane Archer is a baller and a shot caller, and he calls his own number up the gut for the first 7, and some fireworks for the Bulldogs. And the Dogs gonna get the ball back again. Archer on target again, this time to Braden Rennick, who has a close encounter of the turnover kind, but he manages to get it back. Whew! Little later, though, the Panthers offense going on the prowl. Titus Benson gets the carry, but them Bulldogs barking and biting tonight. Nothing doing there. And that was the story of the game as the Bulldogs blanked the Panthers in this one 42-0. Staying down south, it's Mansfield and Lavaca early on. The Golden Arrows seeing red, and it's just Silas Burton, slick as a raindrop through the tackles. He slides in for 7 to start the scoring. Beautiful sunset back there, but back to business because Lavaca going to try and answer that score, but oh my, hearts all stop at once for the faithful. Almost a pick, but it ends up on the turf. Tigers would still get the ball, though, and it's red run. Jeremiah Burton shining on the play. No overlooking a gallop like that as he lodges another 7 in the scorebook for Mansfield, and they just never, ever looked in the rear view. Dropping 70 burger. Yes, that's right. And they improved to 6-0 on the season. Now, I know they say the best things come in threes, but that's just purely coincidence here. That trio of games is just going to be awesome regardless because football is inherently great. In fact, I'd say even more is better, and I'm ready to prove it because we got 5 more games coming direct to your screens after the break. But first, you know the drill, more scores set to the sound of the Greenwood Band. Look, I know why you're here. You don't need the introduction. You just want to get right into that pure 100% medical grade highlight goodness, and we will. But I was raised to be a good host, so to old friends and new FFN family, welcome back to Football Friday Night. I'm glad you're here. All right, I'll get my face off your screens. Let's jump back into the action. Nothing can stop us. We're all the way up at the top with 7A for this next one. Fayetteville at Northside, and the first play of the game, Fayetteville QB Hank Hendricks steps back and unloads one to senior wide receiver Tavion Taylor to put Fayetteville ahead in that foot race. Ain't no one catching him. Northside failing to answer, at least get it all back, but a 40-yard kick would be good to put some points on the board. However, Northside will put a stop to Fayetteville's next drive and get that ball back First play of their possession, juking out even the cameraman. Number 10, Von J. Johnson would find some space wide open, taking the ball down to the 10. That's where senior running back Warren Bijou would lob one up, tipped off the fingers of the defenders and land in Northside's hands for a touchdown. Luck on their side there, but not in the end as Fayetteville gets the 62-30 victory. Crosstown clash, bring on the rivalry. Springdale, the Bulldogs taking on the Harbor Wildcats. Springdale on the doorstep, punching it in, or so they thought. A holding call, bringing this one back 10 yards. Next play, low snap hits the ground, but it's recovered by the Bulldogs. Harbor going to get the third down stop. Springdale forced to kick for 3. It's up, and well, it's good. Man, the kickers are evolving. Let me tell you, no pressure on these high school kids. Next possession, Bryce Owens dumps off the ball to Reed McAllister, and he's able to get the first down. And just a little bit more stretching out there. Harbor still marching down the field. QB forced out of the pocket, looking, finding, lobbing one up to Jack Gilder, and whoop! What a catch, man. Coming back to get it and getting the Wildcats in the red zone. Next play, Owens, look at the, oh, you just couldn't walk it down to him any better. Right in the breadbasket, Trayson Reith. Couldn't get any easier. He gets 2 feet in for the tutty. Come on, that's good at the pro level. High scoring matchup, but the Bulldogs squeak out a victory in this one, 47-41. Let's stay in the 7A. Rogers Heritage taking on Bentonville. We got our eye on the Tigers first, and they are tough to catch. Conrad Schmitz taking the screen and nearly our camera woman out down near the red zone. So now looking to pay it off. It's the Wild Tiger, DeQuain Prevost, trying to find something, make something out of nothing, but he is contained. The offense, however, would not be. Jack Dunn gets it, and it's a done deal. Signed, sealed, delivered. The score's yours. 7-0 Bentonville. And they ain't seen no red light, so there was no stopping. Next drive, Chris Ficklin takes the handoff, and those jukes are rated E for everybody. They all can get it, but no one can catch him. Bentonville dominating in this one. I'm having deja vu from a game we had earlier because it's a 42-0 final. Let's go back down south now, shall we? Lake Hamilton coming up to take on the Van Buren Pointers. First play of the drive coming out of the half. Look at this absolute dot. Christian Wassel comes down with it. Pointers now in the red zone. Very next play, sophomore running back Hayden Christianberry finds the gap and puts Van Buren up 27-0. But the Wolves decided they weren't laying down just yet. DJ, where my DJ? DJ Wilson on a curl route, fights to stay on his feet and gets the first down. 3rd and 10 now. Jace Bohannon launching a prayer, and it's answered, my goodness, by Carson Jackson. He takes the big hit, gets him close to the goal line, and the Wolves showing their teeth, punch it in to put a score on the board, but it's too little too late. Van Buren getting that dub, eating one up at home, remains unbeaten in the 6A, 36-7 the final there. Now moving on, we've got Farmington at Greenbrier. Farmington looking to make a statement here against their rival, and Aiden Lester looking to make a statement early with the big throw, and he's got his man Brady Richards at 7-0. He's in the end zone. Greenbrier, though, looking to answer. Jack Palmer hitting Salter Mahan, and he's making the defense salty as Salter. 7-0, or 7-7 rather. We got ourselves a ball game. So Cards, what you got? Lester now with the ball, and this time he says, I'm just going to do it myself. Get off me. Splits the defenders, and he is rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and now push coming a little too late. He says, hey, I still got paid. 14-7 Farmington. Greenbrier now back on their turf. Jack Palmer hits Trendon Mosley, and he's gone. My goodness, 14-14. If you like defense, I'm sorry, this is not the game for you. Well, until now. Defensive highlight, Jack Palmer is going to get picked off by Farmington's Bryce Thompson. Yeah, you can't throw it back across your body. That's QB 101, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, maybe. But right before the half, Palmer is going to hit Trendon Mosley again, and it's going to be a touchdown for Greenbrier. So they make it up, and they would keep it up. They win this one 48-38 over the Cardinals. Now, if you've been keeping score at home, which would be impressive focus given the massive amounts of football goodness we've been beaming to your screens, you'd know we've had 8 games, but tonight we have 9. And here at FFN, we save the best for last. So you have got 2.5 minutes to go do what you got to do, lock the doors, board up the windows, and claim your seat on the couch for our game of the week. But first, more scores from around the area with the Rogers Band providing the soundtrack. You know, I found that oftentimes the best games, the most interesting ones, don't necessarily start out with those expectations. And I think when the season began, not many people would believe that Bentonville West at Rogers would be a game of the week. But that's why we play the game and why we love it. It has gone from overlooked to must-see as the undefeated Mounties try to hold off the 4-1 Wolverines, as both are precariously perched atop the 7A standings. It's got everything you'd want, and it's time to find out how it went down. Mounties saddled up and ready to roll first, deep in Wolverines territory. Jeff Regan back in black, and bet you know he's glad to be back in the end zone. He barrels in from 3 yards out to put Rogers up 7-0. So now it's up to Bentonville West to answer. However, this call connects to the wrong number. It's a tip drill on the Trey Thompson pass, and Troy Chandler is on the other end for the INT, and from there, no need to ask ChatGPT. You already know who's taking it in. Regan, and it is 14-0 Mounties. So West needing to make something happen before this one gets out of hand, and in the second quarter they do. Trey Thompson keeps it, and this is a grown man run, putting defenders at the kids' table. He's in, and we've got a game. A little bit later, Mounties up 21-7 now, and forget 10. This goes to 11. B.J. Warren turning it all the way up for a 20-yard score, 21-14. But from midfield, mama, it's that bad man again, Regan. Dude has more rips than a graveyard tonight. Black, a good choice to wear because this is like a funeral, the way he keeps burying any hope that West has of winning. That his third score of the night as he and Rogers run away with this one, 70-42. And for more on this absolutely magical season the Mounties are putting together, let's send it to Robin Hearn.
When two of the top teams in 7A West face off, expect some big plays from some big playmakers. And the biggest playmaker of them all in this one was Rogers' Jeff Regan. From the start, the Mounties offense was not letting up, finding the end zone twice in the first quarter, and those two touchdowns, you might ask, they were from Regan. The senior would end up finding the end zone 3 more times himself in the game to add on to his 2 passing touchdowns. His defense would take care of the rest on the other side of the ball, getting multiple stops and forcing turnovers. As for Bentonville West, their first trip to the end zone wouldn't come until the second quarter. The Wolverines look to get back on track next week at home as they take on Harvard, while Rogers is on the road at Springdale. In Rogers, Robin Hearn, 5 News Sports.
Thank you, Robin. And with that, it is the worst part of any Friday night, the end. But like a phoenix from the ashes, we will rise again next week. And when we do, I hope to see you there to savor more football action on another fantastic Football Friday night.